Well, I don't know what to ask you anymore, Paul, except I want you to explain to me, because here these people have gone in, you've done brain mapping, and I remember you talking to me, because there's all these squiggles, and you were saying, and you said, well, if that one's that, it's an addictive personality. So tell me, how does this work?
All of our behaviors and our symptoms are associated with brain activity, obviously. And if you can find the area of inefficiency associated with a particular symptom and nudge the brain into more normal functioning in that area, the symptom improves. Now, there's nothing startling about that if you think about it for a few minutes. If you had a problem with an ankle, you sprained an ankle, what they would do is they would refer you to a physiotherapist. And the physiotherapist would assess it and get some idea of where the inefficiencies are and tell you, now I want you to do the following exercise. And the reason I want you to do that is I want you to be able to strengthen this one particular muscle so that everything is in balance. Okay? Now, you wouldn't go into the physiotherapist and say, okay, after one session I should be, trotting out here and everything should be fine. You would expect to have to do some work in order to get that area balanced. Now, the same thing applies with trying to get the brain to function in normative limits. We set it up so that if it's a child, they're playing a video game with their brain. When the brain's doing what we want it to do, icons move on the screen. Fish jump out of water, they fly airplanes, they run cars around tracks and so forth and so on.
I like keeping the balloons in the air.
Keeping the balloons in the air, right.
That's what I do all day long anywhere, is keep the balloons in the air, right?
Now, basically what we're doing is we're exercising a particular area of the brain, and that's what it amounts to. Then the area that I've developed, and the reason I was nominated for the Hall of Fame, was I developed a concept referred to as brain driving. Now, brain driving, you measure a particular aspect of brain functioning. Based on that measurement, you stimulate with light and sound. With adults, we use microamperage stimulation, EMF fields, and so forth, to nudge the brain into more normal functional ranges. Once the brain is in a normal functional range, it tends to stay there. Now, earlier on, I referred to the fact that the two first gold medal
Yes, you did.
gold medalists, both of them did neurotherapy at the University of Ottawa.
And that's where you started all this.
Bingo. Yes.
Bingo.
And the only podium program has brain therapy as part of the
Because
training
of the Milan,
procedure.
the soccer team in Milan.
Right. Now, what I tell my ADD kids is what we're doing is the first step of what we do for the Olympic athletes.
Oh, they would like that, wouldn't they?
Well, that's what we do.
But
That's the truth, isn't
Don't
it?
some of the NHL hockey teams and so on do this?
Oh, yes.
In the football teams in the States?
That's correct.
Yeah, so this is not something, this is almost getting, and executives of major Fortune 500 companies go through this in New York and so on, do they not?
We see a lot of CEOs of large companies here. And
So-
basically it's get the brain functioning normally, and then you can do some optimal performance.
Now, what is this? What have I got on my head right now? This is another one of your inventions, isn't it?
Yes, we have some things that we give folks to use at home when they need to be entertained. What you're looking at there is a device that, what we're trying to do is balance the frontal area in the brain. And we do some neurotherapy. How can I be serious with you sitting there with those?
You invented it.
Are we having fun? Are we having fun yet? Yeah.
It is a treatment for depression. Do you
Well,
feel,
we're going to talk.
you feel
I want to ask about that. Well, you know, Paul, you have the ability when I'm around you, I always feel good. You're such a cheerful fellow, etc., etc. Yeah.
And the one of the one that you're using right now, basically you're wearing a light box.
Yeah.
We used to, for
Like
the
this is
treatment
for
of
sad.
seasonal affective disorder, we used to get people to buy these big, humongous light sources.
Like I got one over there. I got two of them here.
You had to be in the same room with it and so forth and so on. So what I did was develop what you're wearing, and you can look right through them. So you put them on when you first get up in the morning.
I can even put glasses on underneath them and put them over top of the glasses and read with them.
And you get up in the morning, put them on immediately.
And we have a live audience over here. They're laughing their heads off. They all think I'm nuts anyway. Now they know it.
So there's your treatment for seasonal affective disorder. Now, if you had an imbalance in the frontal part of the brain, that was that flashing that was moving back and forth. We do some treatment in office, some neurotherapy to balance the frontal cortex, and then we give you that to stimulate both sides of the brain.
When
and
you're
I have harmonics that does
yes,
this,
so you got
do the
those
same
things,
thing.
the little box that you wear and put that on. And that's very efficient.
And then the other one, that's both lights, that's one. That's for old guys like me.
Or me.
You read with that, and it stimulates the faster frequencies.
Well, you do brain brightening.
That's right.
I've been down there a couple of times for that. I should go back again because I think I'm getting, according to Peter, I'm getting more stupid every day.
Apparently your grammar's not improving either.
My grammar's not improving either? Why?
More stupid.
More stupid? Well, or should I say stupider? This is Mitchell. No,
Yes.
no, Mitchell, remember, Mari taught him how to spell.
Yes.
So you can do all sorts of different things. And I want to talk to you about suicide.
Yes.
You want to go back on air?
Can you,
Back.
I'm sorry?
Les wants, has something else he wants to
Oh. So did you feed, are you back, Les? Hello?
Yeah. Oh, hi, David.
Yeah, did you get Gloria fed?
What's that again?
Did you get Gloria fed?
No, I'm going to do that in a minute. I just
okay.
Forgot. I wanted to mention one more thing to you guys there, which was the side effects that I had from the treatment. Well, basically, ever since I started taking the treatments, I have never, ever had a drink. I don't want to drink. I just completely lost my taste for it. I don't mind smelling it and that sort of thing, but I will not drink it. And this was something I didn't expect. I was more than a recreational drinker, but that's it.
You know, you've never mentioned that to me, and that's an interesting thing. But I remember at a couple of parties being at your place, you used to have a beer in your hand, and you haven't had one the last 2 times I've seen you. Sure.
Well, it's been 10 years now, and you know, for a while I figured, well, you know, I'm not drinking now, but maybe in a couple of years, and then it got to maybe.
Gosh,
I'll
you know.
start drinking it after 5 years, and now it's 10 years, and I don't think I'll ever start drinking.
Look at all the money you saved.
Exactly.
Paid for the therapy.
Paid for the therapy 5 times over.
I think so. Yes.
Les, that's wonderful. Thank you for phoning, because we were talking a second ago about addictive personalities. And you have told me that you can cure alcoholism, but not if the guy is sitting on a bar stool.
Well, this was sort of to me, it was a side effect. It was totally unintentional, but it just happened.
It's interesting. That's something that I often tell the alcoholics that I treat, is that when we get the brain into more normal functioning ranges so it can quiet itself, you start to lose interest in alcohol.
You lose the addictive, you get rid of the spike that causes the addictive personality.
Well, you get, the brain can quiet itself, so alcohol, you know, you start to lose interest.
Yeah, because you're drinking for the quieting effect. Is that what you're trying to say? It's a self-medication of alcohol.
That's what you're doing. You're medicating, self-medicating.
Well, I was over-medicating myself, I'd say.
Les, No. I was talking actually Jillian Campbell, if you remember Jillian, and I know you do.
Very well, I do.
Yeah, she just got back from Whitehorse yesterday, where she was up performing for the Yukon Festival, the Sourdough Festival, and good stuff. Les, thank you very much for phoning back.
Okay, I got to run some food.
Go feed Gloria.
Okay, bye.
See, Gloria is my first wife. You have never met Gloria. My starter wife. And she has a tax office out on King George Highway. And she's busy doing tax returns while I'm having fun.
Okay.
So she's got, but the funny part about it is that when I met Gloria, I was actually engaged to another lady who then ended up living with Les's brother. So when I married Gloria and came out here, Karen and Ray Sikora were a team. And then, 40 years later, because it was 40 years ago, Gloria is now married to Les. It's just one of those small worlds, but we won't bother with that.